Hi, this is Chris Garcia with MyTabletLife.com, and this is our review of the Coby Kyros MID7015. The Coby Kyros is a 7-inch Android 2.1 resistive touch internet tablet. It has a Telechips 800 MHz processor. It's an ARM11 processor. It has 4 GB of built-in memory, and also has a micro SD card slot to support up to 16 GB. As I said, it is a resistive touch screen with the resolution of 800 by 480 and a 16 by 9 aspect ratio. The tablet's dimensions, it's 7.5 inch tablet, 7.5 by 4.75 inch. It's a little under a ½ inch thick and weighs just under a pound. You'll also notice it does have an accelerometer, so it does move with the orientation of the screen, and that does work in games like Raging Thunder. This is a Wi-Fi only tablet, and it only supports 802.11b and G, so there is no Wi-Fi N support on the device. Let's just take a look at what you get as far as the case goes for the device. Like I said, it's a 7-inch tablet. On the front you just have one button right there, and that is just a back button. All of your outputs are on one side here pretty much. You have your USB host. You can also use this to transfer or connect the keyboard up to. You have your mini HDMI, your headphone jack, your micro SD card slot, your DC power, and your power button. There's nothing on the bottom here, nothing on top, and the only thing on the side here is your home and menu. So there's your home and menu Android buttons, and then that's also your back. So that's what you got. On the back there also is a reset. If your device locks up, use the stylus to do that, since this is a resistive touch screen, and then your speaker is right there on the device. The stylus comes out right here on the device, and there that is. When you get the device, there's not a lot of applications loaded up on it. You have your video player, which pretty much just brings you to YouTube, so you can watch YouTube videos on the device. AppsLib market, it does not include Google Apps, so there is no Android market. However, the AppsLib market by Arcos has about 3,000 applications. Obviously not the depth of the 150 or so thousand in that Google Android market, but it does have a good variety of applications. There is games like Angry Birds, Raging Thunder. Aldeco is your ebook reader, your email, gallery, music, so galleries for watching your video or pictures. However, there is no camera on the device, so your pictures would have to be loaded on the micro SD card. Music, you can load up your music on here, your internet browser, and your settings. And if you go to the menu, pretty much the same stuff there. I did put a file explorer on here, which you could download from the AppsLib market. There's a calibration utility to calibrate the device, alarm clock, and your settings. So that's that there. Not a whole lot preloaded, but you can watch YouTube, which I know for a device like this, that's what a lot of people are looking for. Speaking of the price of the device, it's $139 to $199 depending on where you pick it up or if it's on sale. This was picked up at Toys R Us for $139, so it's a relatively cheap device. This would compare to the GenTouch 78 by Ogden or the Sylvania 7-inch mini tablet. I do think this is a better made tablet. This does have a very nice body on it, almost very similar to the Samsung Galaxy Tab. It is pretty well built. You know, not the fit and finish of the Galaxy Tab, doesn't feel quite as solid, but it does have a better feel than the GenTouch or the Sylvania, which were pretty much the same tablet with a little different processor and some other things, but body wise those were pretty much the same tablet. This one also does come with a case, which is nice also. So that is nice. The device is a little sluggish. I said it is an 800 MHz processor, however it's an ARM11, which is a little bit of a generation behind as far as processor goes, a few generations behind actually at this point. So it is a little sluggish. I've had a few force closes. There's already an update on CobyUSA.com for the device. Doesn't say what it's fixed. I do know some people were saying they couldn't install applications before that update, and they can now, so that's nice. Being that this is an ARM11 processor running the telechips, most likely Coby will not update this to 2.2, Android 2.2. It's running Android 2.1 now. Android 2.2 supports Flash, so more than likely this will not receive that update, so you will not see Flash on this device. That doesn't mean it's not a decent internet browsing experience. It does have the Android 2.1 browser on it, which is a pretty good experience as far as web browsing, without obviously Flash. I'll just go to MyTabletLife.com here, bring up our web page. Wi-Fi is a little slow here. Like I said, it is Wi-Fi BNG, and there you go. This is not a multi-touch device, so you cannot do two. You can't scroll, zoom in and out like that. You do have to double tap to zoom in and out. And since it's a resistive touch, I do have to use my fingernail to scroll up and down. However, even though it is a resistive touch screen, it is probably one of the better resistive touch compared to some of the other sub 200 devices. So, not too unhappy with the resistive touch screen. I know a lot of people do not like them and prefer the capacitive touch that's on the iPhone, the Samsung Galaxy Tab, the Arcos devices, or any pretty much your newer cell phone, Android or otherwise, where you just can use your finger and multi-touch, zoom in and out. Since this is, like I said, a resistive, you don't have those capabilities. Battery life on the device, I'm getting about 5 hours, which is not bad for a small device like this. Not the 8 to 10 hours of the Arcos or the G tablet or the Samsung Galaxy Tab, but 5-hour life, which is not too bad. I also want to kind of talk about on Coby. Coby has two of these available. There's the MID7015, which is this device, and the MID7005. On their web page, the only difference I really see is the difference between which type of micro SD card it can support up to. This device, the MID7015, says it can only support up to 16 gigabytes of additional storage, where the MID7005 says 32 gigabytes. Otherwise, the pretty much are all the same. They both have the HDMI out. They look almost identical. So, as far as I know, the only big difference at this point is the micro SD support. Like I said, the single on the front here, you'll see I use this as the back button, and your home and menu are up there. So it's nice. It kind of gives it a sleek look on the front with just that one there. It's a pretty good device for the price. Like I said, for being an under $200 tablet, I've been relatively happy with it. Some sluggish performance, have had some force closes randomly. Coby has, like I said, a release update at CobyUSA.com, so maybe they'll continue to support it for a bit, and we'll get a few nice things out of it. I think it's a great device for teenagers or someone who's just looking to have, a little video player, some basic games. Angry Birds does not work on this device currently. I will say that. I'm not sure why. There's some artifacts, there's some problems with the graphics, but Raging Thunder Light does work. You can race with the accelerometer and use it, so that's good. Over at xdadevelopers.com, they are doing some work on this. They have gotten some of the Google apps on here in Android market, so if you are a little more adventurous and like to root your devices or install other things on this, there is the capability of putting the full Google market and some of the Google Android apps on here, like Gmail, Maps. However, there is no GPS system in here. There's actually no vibration either. So a lot of the features like of a normal phone, some of the games and things you download will not work. The AppsLib market, which comes on here by Arcos, this is pretty much similar to some of the Arcos devices. They don't have GPS or some of the other functions like that, and a lot of these applications in their market are supposed to work on a tablet similar to this. They do have a 7-inch tablet, the Arcos 70 and the Arcos 7 HT, so they do have two 7-inch tablets, so you can download applications that should work relatively well on a device there. As I was saying, pretty good device for the under $200. It's a good holdover device, since we know that the better devices are coming out in March, April with Honeycomb, Android 3.0, which is going to be made for tablets. This is a good holdover device if you're not looking for something too powerful at the moment. It can do a lot of things. However, like I said, resistive touch, not the greatest processor. It only has 256 megabyte of RAM, so it is lower on the memory. The newer devices have 512 or 1 gigabyte, so it's, you know, you could, even though it can multitask and you can run a few apps at the same time, you're going to run into problems after a bit. Android does a pretty good job of managing memory, but people still seem to have issues with units that only have 256 megabyte of RAM on them. But I do think it's a decent holdover device. Definitely one of the better devices in this price range. At the $139 to $169 price range, I could suggest it. So if you're looking for a great cheap device for a teen or for someone who just doesn't need lots of power, I'd recommend the Coby Kyros. This has been Chris Garcia with MyTabletLife.com. Visit our website at MyTabletLife.com for all your latest tablet news and reviews.